Georgia is renowned for its diverse economy, energetic neighborhoods, and delicious cuisine in addition to its turbulent past. It should come as no surprise that this distinctively southern state has its fair share of haunting history, given that it was once the scene of numerous grisly battles during the Civil War, as well as notorious mental hospitals, hotels, and cemeteries. Well, here are some locations for you to visit in Georgia if you're seeking a genuine scare. Number 10. Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. The hospital was built in the early 1900s and operated until the mid-1970s. It is said to be haunted by the ghosts of former patients and staff who are seen roaming the hallways and rooms. One of the most well-known ghosts is that of a nurse who was killed in a car accident on her way to work. It is said that she can be seen walking the corridors in her uniform, checking on patients. Another ghost is that of a young boy who died of pneumonia in the hospital. He is said to be heard crying and is often seen standing at the end of beds, watching over the patients. There are also reports of strange noises, shadowy figures, and objects moving on their own in the hospital. Some visitors have even claimed to have been touched or pushed by unseen hands. The Old South Pittsburgh Hospital is now a museum, and visitors can take guided tours to learn more about its history and alleged hauntings. However, be warned, those who are sensitive to paranormal activity may not want to venture too far into the hospital, as the ghosts that haunt these halls are said to be particularly active. Number 9. The Marshall House. The Marshall House in Savannah, Georgia, is a historic inn that is said to be tormented by the spirits of former visitors and workers. The hotel was built in 1851 and served as a hospital during the Civil War and yellow fever outbreaks. It is believed that the ghosts that haunt the hotel are those of soldiers and patients who perished in the hospital. One of the most well-known ghosts at the Marshall House is that of a young girl who was staying at the hotel with her family. It is said that she fell ill and died while staying at the hotel, and her ghost can still be seen playing in the hallways and rooms. There have been various sightings by the visitors and employees. There have also been descriptions of abnormal blusters, the opening and closing of gates and doors on their own, and objects moving without explanation. Some guests have even claimed to have seen ghostly apparitions in their rooms or felt the presence of someone unseen in the hotel. You might want to keep your distance if you value your life. Number 8. The Moon River Brewery. The Moon River Brewery in Savannah, Georgia is a historic building that was once a hotel and is now a popular brewery and restaurant. It is said to be haunted by the ghost of a former guest who stayed at the hotel in the early 1900s. According to the legend, the ghost is that of a young woman named Emily, who was staying at the hotel while on her honeymoon. It is said that she was murdered in her room by her husband, who was jealous and angry with her. Emily's ghost is said to haunt the brewery, appearing to employees and guests as a translucent figure. There have been various sightings of abnormal activities inside the brewery by visitors and employees. Do you have the guts to go there, or do you like to keep your distance? Number 7. The Bulloch Hall. The Bulloch Hall in Roswell, Georgia, is a historic mansion that was once the home of Mittie Bulloch, the mother of Theodore Roosevelt. It is said to be haunted by the ghost of a former servant who worked in the house. As per the legend, the ghost is said to be a young woman named Anne who was a servant at Bulloch Hall in the mid-1800s. It is said that she was mistreated by her employers and eventually died in the house under bizarre circumstances. Anne's ghost is said to haunt the mansion, appearing to visitors as the diaphanous formation and causing strange movements all around the mansion. Most people like to keep their distance because some visitors have claimed to have felt the presence of someone unseen in the house. However, it is a popular destination for adventurous ghost hunters. Are you planning to face off this by yourself or not? Number 6. The CROCKETT Oak Hill Inn. The CROCKETT Oak Hill Inn in LaGrange, Georgia, is a historic bed and breakfast that is said to be haunted by the ghost of a former owner. The inn was built in the early 1800s and was once the home of John Crockett, a prominent businesswoman in the town. According to mythology, Crockett's ghost still haunts the inn, appearing to guests and employees as a shadowy figure. One of the most disturbing stories about the hauntings at the CROCKETT Oak Hall Inn involves a guest who claimed to have been awoken in the middle of the night by a ghostly hand that was placed on her shoulder. When she turned to see who it was, she saw the ghostly apparition of a man standing at the foot of her bed. Visitors come to stay at the inn and experience the activities for themselves. You might not want to mess with John Crockett, though. Number 5. The Baker County Courthouse. The Baker County Courthouse in Newton, Georgia, is a historic building that is said to be haunted by the ghost of a former judge. The courthouse was built in the late 1800s and is still in use today. As per the folklore, the ghost of Judge Hiram Parker haunts the courthouse. Judge Parker was a strict and fair judge who is known for his no-nonsense approach to justice. He is said to be seen walking the hallways and chambers of the courthouse, as well as appearing in the courtroom during trials. Number 4. The Sallie House. The Sallie House in Atchison, Kansas, is a haunted house that is known for its intense paranormal activity. It is said to be haunted by the ghost of a young girl named Sallie, who died in the house in the 1890s. The Sallie House is known for being one of the most haunted houses in the United States, and many people who visit the house claim to have had terrifying paranormal experiences. Some visitors have even claimed to have seen Sallie's ghostly apparition. Number 3. The TIFT College. The TIFT College in Forsyth, Georgia, is a historic college that is said to be haunted by the ghosts of former students and faculty. The college was founded in the late 1800s and is still in operation today, according to legend. The ghosts that haunt TIFT College are those of students and faculty who died while attending or working at the college. One of the most well-known ghosts at TIFT College is that of a former student who committed suicide in one of the dormitories. It is said that she can be heard crying and is often seen wandering the halls of the dormitory. Another ghost is that of a former professor who died in a tragic accident on campus. It is said that his ghost can be seen pacing the halls of the academic building where he once taught. Number 2. The Colonial Inn. The Colonial Inn in Marietta, Georgia, is a historic inn that is said to be haunted by the ghost of a former guest. The inn was built in the early 1800s and is still in operation today, according to legend. The ghost that haunts the Colonial Inn is that of a young woman named Emily, who stayed at the inn while on her honeymoon. It is said that Emily's husband was jealous and angry, and he murdered her in her room while she was sleeping. Emily's ghost is said to haunt the inn, appearing to guests as a translucent figure and causing strange rackets and paranormal activities. In addition to Emily's ghosts, the Colonial Inn is also said to be haunted by the ghost of a former innkeeper, who is often seen walking the halls and checking on guests. There have been numerous reports of guests waking up in the middle of the night to find the ghostly figure of the innkeeper standing at the foot of their bed, looking down at them. Despite these unsettling occurrences, many guests who have stayed at the Colonial Inn have reported having positive experiences and have even claimed that the ghosts who haunt the inn are friendly and welcoming. Others, however, have described their experiences as frightening and have vowed never to return to the haunted inn. Number 1. The Hay House. The Hay House in Macon, Georgia, is a historic mansion that is said to be haunted by the ghosts of former residents and servants. The house was built in the mid-1800s and is now a museum open to the public. According to legend, the ghosts that haunt the Hay House are those of former residents and servants who lived and worked in the house. One of the most well-known ghosts at the Hay House is that of a former servant named Anna, who is said to haunt the servants' quarters on the top floor of the house. It is said that Anna was mistreated by her employers and eventually died in the house under mysterious circumstances. Her ghost is said to be seen walking the halls and rooms of the servants' quarters, as well as appearing in the main part of the house. Another ghost that is said to haunt the Hay House is that of a former resident named Mary Hay, who died in the house in the late 1800s. Mary's ghost is often seen in the parlor of the house, where she was known to spend much of her time. This video is a wrap for today's list of the top 10 haunted places in Georgia. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I would like to keep my distance from these haunted places, but it is said to be an adventure for the brave and the bold. Would you visit these places? Tell us in the comments, and thanks for watching.